Okay, let's choose up. I'll take Jamal and Tutal. You can have Chubbs and Skippy. Let's go. My ball.
Okay. But you got skins.
Not a good negotiator? You don't have to be a good negotiator at McCarthy Chevrolet. McCarthy guarantees the lowest prices on a new Chevy or we'll pay you $10,000. We guarantee there's no need to shop anyplace else. McCarthy Chevrolet, I-35 and Santa Fe, Olathe.
Kirk, we were just talking during the break. Some surprising stuff out at Lakeside last night.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel I've been put in a bad spot here because whoever was driving the factory stock race last night, I don't even know whether I even want to get into it at this point. But
what do you mean? You have to at this point. I done set you up.
I was going to say
I don't even know if I wanted to know anything about it at all.
We're not going to have commentarists interrupt us here.
Yeah, let me ask you this. Did the driver that was driving the factory stock at Lakeside last night get out of the car in front of the grandstands?
I don't know that because I was not there last night, so I'm not even compelled to even talk about it. So
we have an independent verification from the sound booth that that in fact did happen.
That he did get out of the car in front of the grandstands. That's all we need to know. Then we can run with the story, right?
Terry Bruner was the winner, right? That's what I was led to believe in the factory stock division.
Well, just for those of us who A, weren't there and B, weren't privy to your
I don't even want to say any more because I wasn't there.
Off-air conversation, why don't we talk about what exactly you're talking about? Because if you're annoying me, you're probably annoying the listeners.
Yeah, I didn't even want to bring it up.
That's true. But you're easily annoyed, Troy.
Yeah, so, there's no doubt about that.
I didn't even want to bring it up because I wasn't there, so I can't.
Did somebody show their behind last night at Lakeside?
I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know.
You brought it up, Scott. Neither one of us were there last night, so I can't.
I wasn't there.
So
Todd was there. What did Todd say?
Not
throwing Todd under the bus, but what did he say?
Todd's got a mic in there. Why don't you let him?
He doesn't have a mic.
Oh, I thought he did.
Not right now.
He does, but he might not know how to use it.
Oh.
All right. Listen, just ask Todd.
It was reported that
yes
Terry
or no?
Bruner,
Can I say? Yes or no? Can we talk about it? Just give him a head nod there, Todd.
Can you talk about it? He's just putting his arms up. The answer is no.
All right, we'll leave it alone then.
I think we can coin a new metaphor. Did somebody pull a Kurt last night?
Well, I don't think they did anything like that.
See, I think from this point forward, which kind of plays into what we were talking about before the break, I think that's the new metaphor. It's called pulling a Kurt.
And what's that mean?
Kurt Busch. What were we talking about before the when somebody acts up and shows his rear end at a race? I think we can officially call that.
Is that what happened last night?
I don't know. That's what you're saying.
No, I don't think that's what happened. No, that's totally different.
Well,
totally
this is what
situation.
happens when you start a story and you don't explain what the heck you're talking about.
I'm not going to talk about it because I wasn't there to.
And you've been yammering about it for 7 minutes. If we're not going to talk about it, let's move on.
Quit it.
It was reported as Terry Bruner won the factory stock feature last night. That's all we know. Gary Donaldson won his 5th Grand National feature last night. And in the A-Mod division, Cody Agler outran Tim Carey to win the and we had a new winner in the B-Mod division last night. And that was the B-Mod winner was Terry Bruner.
Come on, Kirk.
Let's fix this now. The B-Mod winner was
I'm
Terry
not
Bruner.
sure what happened at Lakeside, and apparently neither is anybody else.
Right.
And the factory stock winner was reported to be Barry Sottero. Have you ever heard of Barry Sottero before?
No.
That's the
what
factory
number
stock
is that
winner.
car?
We have a note from the sound
number
booth
15
that apparently the guy who got out of the car at the end of the race was actually John O'Neill Jr.
So he did get out of the car at that. See, that's what I wanted to know.
I'm not going to say that because I didn't know.
Huh?
Tell Todd to come in there and let him talk into your mic real
Todd,
quick, Troy.
Come here.
I'll let you report it.
Leave it on camera 3.
John O'Neill Jr. Took his helmet off, came in, and didn't tell nobody, I believe, other than maybe a few people in the pits. But he went in as an alias, and if you watched the race last night, they told you there was an alias driver racing, and he took his helmet off because they said you gotta let everybody know who you are, and it was John O'Neill Jr.
So that's your
Well,
responsibility.
see, that's all we needed right there.
I wasn't going to report that,
I'm
but
reporting
I'll
it.
let you do
That's
it.
that's the new driver that no one knows who it is, and I tried to get him to call in this morning, and he said nobody would want to talk to him about it. So,
Well, that's not true.
I know. That's what we
All right, thank you.
I don't.
All right,
I,
there
I,
we go.
I-
So
I didn't
John
even wanna
O'Neill
bring this
Jr.
up.
run under an alias. So now we can say it.
Okay.
John O'Neill run under an alias. He won the factory stock race, and basically he was driving a factory stock last night.
Good for
That's
John.
kinda
Does
what it
anybody
boils down
have some Tylenol?
Why?
You have a headache now.
Now,
Getting there.
I wasn't going to say that. I was not going to report that because I
Because
didn't
you're
know.
such a fence straddler, Kirk.
Well, I wasn't
He's
there.
got splinters in his butt, doesn't he, from the fence post?
Oh, always? Some galvanized steel or something? Yeah, hey, I spoke with John this week through a text, and he's got a big race coming up, the Firecracker 500 down there at Thunder Lake. It sounds like this is going to be a big event. We're going to have him in, I think, on June 23rd to talk about that. But that's John O'Neill now, promoter John O'Neill. So, well, good that he won a race.
Good for
since his
John.
wreck,
Here's what I don't understand. If he wanted the world to know that he drove the car, why didn't he go by his real name? Why
I
go
will
by?
tell you this. All right, John.
I have
John
a
just
guess.
texted me. John, call in. Call in on the show, John.
My
We gotta
guess
talk.
would be he probably didn't want anybody to know until afterwards because he didn't know how he was going to perform.
John
That
just
would be
shot
a
me a
guess.
text. He's going to be calling us here in a second.
Good.
913-381-810. We'll hear it from the source. Maybe we can talk a little bit about his big race that he's got coming up July 7th at Thunder Lake. It's a big event, 1,000 win for go-karts. We don't cover go-karts much on Track Talk, but John O'Neill's a friend of the RacinBoys and has been in the booth with us several times. So we'll give him a chance to shout out about the Firecracker 500 on July 7th at Thunder Lake and talk about this sliding under the radar as a driver. Kind of like Smoke Johnson now, isn't he?
A little bit. He could have gone by Ted Tappett. That was that was an old name that there were
What
probably
did
about
you
it.
just say?
Ted Tappett, like a tappet on a cam. There were about a dozen different Ted Tappets that used to race back in the 50s.
That would give it away.
Dan Gurney was one of them.
Well, I didn't.
Yeah, they did that at the time because the SCCA
John
didn't allow
O'Neill.
drivers who raced for money to race in their events. Dan liked to race for money, so when he raced for money, he was Ted Tappett.
All right. Joining us now is John O'Neill. John?
God, good
Are you
morning.
there? Good morning. So
morning,
let's
Barry
get the cat
Sottero.
out of the bag. Yeah. What was going on last night? You racing under an alias, John. What's that all about?
Actually, the only reason I raced under an alias is I drove Jim's car. That's Jim Conley, as a normal driver, and he's been fighting some health issues, and he asked me, can you help me with my car? And I relented. I said no, because I'm helping a B-Mod racer. We were trying to concentrate on getting his car back together. And when we realized we weren't going to be able to make it back out last week, I went ahead and told him, and Jim races out of our race shop, and I said, I'll do it, but I can't tell my wife. And because I just don't want, her to know that I'm doing it because I don't want her to worry. And,
Right.
and I said, and I don't know if I want to do it either, but I want to help you out because you've helped me out in the shop. So I jumped
Let me
in
ask you this,
and-
John. When did you tell Joy? Last night when you got home?
Oh, no.
She just found out on
She
the
found
radio.
out on the radio this morning. That's how she
No,
found
she
out.
she busted me last week. Now, she knew going into this week, and I told her I had to run under the alias again. That way I could keep my point average. So, it was fun, and I told Jim I'd do it. I wasn't going to do it a second time. I said, but, since we're starting closer to the front, I would love a shot at it because I think that's the first driver to win in all three classes, the old Lakeside classes, the factory stock, a Grand National, and a modified. And, it's just pretty cool. But, the thing that I'm happy for is for Jim Conley. The guy is just the nice of a guy as they come by. And I'm a big fan of racing. And let me tell you, the factory stock racers at Lakeside are the best. I raced against
They're serious. Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I can name every one of them because I watch them. I'm a fan of all of them. And they race just like you watch. And they're clean, they're fast, they're smooth. And I drove the wheels off of it, and they were all right there giving me shots. And it was some of the most fun racing that I ever did. And there's some very accomplished racers out there that you're going to, see and hear from for a long time.
John,
well, that's why you see anywhere between 9, 14 wins, different winners every year out there. I mean, there's a boatload of guys that can win.
Oh yeah, it was just it was a fun time. I drove Jim home last night for the most part, and we talked about it all the way back towards the shop, and the guy was just tickled pink. If anybody could see the smile on his face, it was worth its weight in gold.
Where did the name Barry Sottero come from, John?
Well, that's an alias that one of our political guys runs under, and you just have to Google it. It's Barry Sottero. It's just kind of funny. I was going to be Smoke Johnson, but Mark Olson thought it was fitting that one. It's just funny, and some may find humor in it, some may not. And the main thing is I wasn't going to get out of the car. I wish I had a Halloween mask, but, I got to put two of my sponsors in victory lane, and that was finally Carl Chevrolet and Johnsonville Sausage. I finally got to represent those guys in victory lane, and that's a first for me, and, it was pretty cool.
Well, good for you,
John. We're up against the break. We've got to get out because we've got Brady Bacon coming up real quick. But I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about your date on July 7th, the Firecracker 500. That's a $1,000 to win race that you're going to have down there at Thunder Lake.
Thank you very much, Scott. Yes, it's Firecracker 500. We're paying over $5,000 in first in 4 classes. The other classes are money classes where they pay back 50% of the entry, and so everybody's going to go home with a little bit of something. We got some really cool trophies that we're designing. The big thing is it's going to be a nice Midwest special over the 4th of July weekend. It's going to allow racers from throughout the Midwest to come and compete and race for some serious cash. I mean, $1,000 to win in a go-kart, are you kidding me? Pays back pretty decent. But we got qualifying money. I'm hoping that this thing really grows into something big, and I'm just trying to make go-kart racing relevant for all of our karters and all of our upcoming racers. It's a great way for families to get involved in our sport, and this is the place where we're going to start growing them right over across the street from Lakeside at Thunder Lake Speedway.
All right, John, we're going to let you go. We'll get you back in studio, I think, on the 23rd we talked about, and we'll talk more about that. Congratulations on your win, bud. I've been on the losing end of a couple of those wins you talked about in those classes at Lakeside, so I'm glad you got the hat trick now.
Hey,
right?
I just want to say one thing. A lot of people ask. I quit cold turkey, and as any racer knows, it was a very tough decision for me to get back in there. So it just kind of dispelled some thoughts I had in my own mind, whether or not I got out because I was either scared or timid, and it just proved to the old man that he could still go out and have some fun.
Congratulations.
I know better than that. John, thanks for being on with us. We'll talk to you here in a couple weeks down the road.
All right, look forward to it, Scott. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Barry.
Congratulations.
There he is, Barry Sottero.
Yeah.
First
we
career
better take
win.
a break. We're running late. We'll be back with Brady Bacon on Track Talk next.